Let's get it started.
How do you explain or evaluate the, sloppiness tonight between the penalties and the turnovers?
Yeah, obviously it's disappointing. You don't want to play that way, especially to start November, and we did, and so we're going to have to. We own it, we live with it, we grow from it, and hopefully we've got enough, enough courage about ourselves to correct it and move ourselves forward. But I thought our kids played really hard, but you're right, it's the detail that cost us the football game, unfortunately.
Specifically with the penalties, just how out of character was that for you guys tonight?
Yeah, it's some of those things hadn't been called. I don't know. Obviously we're going to have to get it corrected because it's close enough to whatever it is or it isn't that it put us in a really tough spot. So again, from our end of it, we got to coach it better. That starts with the head football coach, and then we got to execute it better. So whatever those things we can understand and really grow from, I think it'll help us down the road for sure.
Matt, how good of a spot did you feel you were in when Carson makes the play he does, gets in the end zone, you've got the lead finally, and you're putting the defense back on the field that hadn't really given up much of anything since the first quarter?
Yeah. I don't know if I felt, I felt like we just were always trying to find a true rhythm in the game, and I think even at that point, it was great. I mean, what a great play by Carson, and so excited for him. And, unfortunately, you can't celebrate it like you want to with a win, but the reality of it is what a great play by that kid. And, the unfortunate piece of it is we didn't respond, but boy, there were multiple times where our defense did respond. And on the flip side, man, we had chances offensively to really kind of gain some great momentum, and we didn't do it. So the reality, I think that's the moral of the story. We never played the game in the tempo and really the way we needed to play to win the football game. So, and a lot of that falls on, man, the guy sitting up here. It's my responsibility to get us into a great rhythm and play the way we need to play, and I really just couldn't get that done for us tonight.
I know globally, as you often say, everything's still out there for you guys, and I know you go week to week, but I mean, how do you, probably guys are pretty not feeling good in the locker room. How do you really help lift them up by just letting them know that?
Yeah, well, I think it's no different than it's been, when we've won these games, because I feel like we've been on the other side of some of these. And the reality of it is, it's the same message. It doesn't really change. Like, we'll be defined by who we are after the season ends. This game will not define us in any way, shape, or form. And the reality of it is how we respond to it, and the team we become through it is really what will define the, 2024-23 Iowa State Cyclone football team. So I think this gives us a great chance for the first time to now have to respond to adversity of a loss. What does that look like? How do we grow from it? Man, do we have the same character that I would expect us to have going forward? And we'll see. What a great opportunity to grow.
I guess, Matt, some of the sloppiness is those two burn timeouts. Can you maybe offer some clarity into what happened on those situations?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I think probably even from my end, I would have to go back to it. I would unfairly answer that question right now, and I don't want to. I'll probably have a better answer for that on Tuesday.
Hi, Matt. So obviously 2 weeks ago facing UCF, you saw what the rushing offense was able to do, and then obviously today Taj Brooks reached over 100 yards. What kind of was the game plan going into it, trying to defend him, and how you kind of saw it play today?
Yeah, I did think we took a really good step in the right direction there. I think some of those rush yards came and, in the last drive, and we're kind of trying to be in and out of defending the clock, using the clock, defending the pass, and giving up some of those. But I thought we took a really good step in the right direction in terms of the run game. We'll have to continue to do a great job of that. It wasn't perfect by any stretch of the imagination, and obviously Taj, I think I said on Tuesday, man, one of the guys that I have the utmost respect for. I think he's one of the great players in this conference, and a lot of praise to him for sure.
It was 3rd and 10 before Kyle's 51-yard field goal. Rocco keeper, is that one you guys would like back or just not executed?
Yeah, well, we didn't execute it. I think you'd like to have it back. I think more than anything, you're trying to get yourself into – they were in drop 8, which is exactly what we thought they would be in, and we tried to, put ourselves in either a great field goal position, getting the ball centered in the middle of the field, and or, man, if you got enough yardage, you were going to put yourself in a 4-down situation to go for it. So, probably the execution you would love to have back. I don't think the call is something that I wouldn't debate. Now, maybe by the time we get to Tuesday, would you love to have it back? And obviously it didn't work. So I think anytime you say that, man, you'd love to have it back. But, the theory behind what we were trying to do certainly made sense.
On that last defensive possession, people often talk about how sped up offenses can get an offense going in a rhythm. For a defense, how difficult is it to defend when you guys may struggle to get calls in or whatever it may be?
Yeah, I know. I don't feel like any of those things happened. I just think the reality of what we were trying to get accomplished is in and out between, our dime package and our base defense. And, I think the reality of it is it's a chess match at the end of that game, and you're trying to put the defense in the best situation to be successful, put the personnel out there that you think will give you the best chance to be successful. And, they made one more play than we were able to defend. But, I thought our kids did a lot of really good things there. Again, I think very similarly, man, our detail and precision was off a little bit. So I'm sure we'll evaluate it. Man, could we have been better? What could we have done better as coaches to put them in the best situation? But, again, I think some of our detail and precision throughout the night wasn't where it needs to be. And ultimately, when it's those things, that's the head coach's responsibility. And, that's something that I'll have to look myself in the mirror and make sure we got a great plan to do that better moving forward.
Matt, how do you diagnose, or what are your thoughts on the slow starts offensively in games?
Yeah, I think we've started slow now the last 5 weeks. Offensively, defensively, they've taken the ball right down the field and scored a touchdown. And did you say offensively? I think offensively we drove the ball right down the field and kicked a field goal. So, I feel like not getting ourselves into a rhythm early in a football game is still something that we have to be better at. It's something that we have not been our best throughout the football season and probably caught us a little bit tonight for sure.
And what's the pulse in the locker room after your first loss? What was the message to the team?
Yeah, you own it, you grow from it, and you move forward. I think the reality of it is, you're going to lose football games, and that's part of the journey. But how you respond is no different than how you respond when you win. And so, to me, that's the great thing about our program is we don't flinch with results. We look at the process, where can we be better, and let's do a great job of understanding accountability to what maybe didn't allow us to be our best in the moment. And whether we won the game or lost the game, it would have been a really similar message, to be honest.
Lovett, Snyder, Bramer injuries?
Yeah, I got a lot of them still. It's an area for us that's still we're in the process of healing. And so as we continue to work through this, hopefully we can get some of those guys back. I do feel like none of those guys will be out for the entirety of the season, and an area for us that we just got to continue to pound away at.
Everybody's banged up at this time of year, but when you have the number of injuries you guys, how much does that just stress what you're able to do?
Yeah, I think it's been a huge stress on everybody here, to be honest with you, and it's not an excuse because we've been able to respond to it. But the reality of it is, I think anytime you've got the rash of situations that we've had, it's been a major challenge for our football team, and our kids have done a great job of responding to it. That was not the issue tonight. I think the reality of it is our detail was the issue, and but whether we won or lost, it's been a stress all year.
Coach, you talked plenty about how this is a team-led group. What has been your reaction from some of the veterans in the immediate aftermath of this loss?
Well, I think our veterans stand up and lead, and we'll look at ourselves in the mirror first, and then we'll self-evaluate and self-correct, and then do everything in our power to bring everybody else with us. And we've got great veterans. Between the captains on this football team to the seniors, I think we'll take great ownership. We'll be humble enough to understand what not playing to our ability cost us tonight, and then take great ownership and demand to move ourselves forward. So we're kind of defined by how we respond to adversity, and I think that's pretty much life in general. So it'd be a great opportunity for this group to continue to grow.
Coach, Carson Hansen looked all the part of the best running back in the first half, and in the second it looked like Abu Sama just flipped the switch. What do you make of that with your three guys back there, and I guess what you take away from this game from that performance in the second half?
Yeah, I thought Abu really got into a great rhythm. Maybe the best I've seen him, in a rhythm this season, which was great to see. And, Carson's he's been fighting through a lot of stuff too, and so just to have the multiplicity at that running back position, I think it's huge. And You know, I do. I think Abu really put us in a great spot in the second half to go play a heck of a lot better offense and did a great job. And, you know, Carson is as tough as they come. So those two are a great 1-2 punch. And then obviously Jalen getting going at times will be critical for us as we continue to move forward.
One positive, we continue for you guys with all the takeaways and the play. Did you come in and play Darian made one-on-one there right after I think Rocky was picked off?
Yeah.
And then Miles gets his first pick right into it, set you up in a great spot.
Yeah, and you know, I think the ball is key. You know, the probably the disappointing part from our end of it is we gave them to tonight in critical spots, and then we had one taken away, right, with the penalty, with the hands to the face. That, man, no, those are big plays. And again, when you leave it to chance, right, and you don't do your job with great precision and detail, it's tough. And you know, unfortunately, that's what we did tonight enough that it got us burnt. And again, man, I would tell you those discipline pieces, that's reflection of the head football coach, and that's reflection of our football program. And, you know, you hate for that to happen, but you got to demand to work through it, and you got to figure out a better way to coach it. Awesome. Thank you, guys.